Hi, internet.
Will tag me? There. For fuck's sake! Tag!
Today's vibes are LOL. Okay, hi everyone.
It's a new moon. We're like...
Oh, is it ever?
You.
Okay. I'm Rebecca Rubin, the content queen. Who are you?
I'm Jay Shetty.
What? Okay. Who are you?
Jay Shetty.
All right, I'm here with Jay Shetty.
Hey,
whoever
Walter.
the fuck that is.
Rebecca never, like... She gets, like, the news 2 weeks later. When trending topics.
What's going on?
Oh, well, wouldn't you like to know?
I would. Are you going to tell me?
It's an inside joke now.
Oh, fuck.
Hey,
Sorry,
LBL. It dies
here.
here.
Thing.
Good. This is
you guys,
a clean...
We got into a
this
fight
is a kid-friendly
morning.
show.
Very kid-friendly.
What do you mean this morning?
Jay, I plagiarized everything. Oh, did he plagiarize?
Yeah, he basically
I actually
did.
saw something about that maybe on Instagram.
You know those Instagram things where it's a quote and then the name is he's like the master of stealing shit and profiting off of it.
Wow.
And he got kind of caught red-handed.
Wow.
Or caught out red-handed.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we had been planning to do a live stream today, and then we got like, I wouldn't call it an argument per se, but we had like a.
Only one.
How would you?
Only one dish was thrown. It wasn't that bad.
No dishes were thrown. We had a little like. That's.
It was.
That's
It wasn't really this morning. It was like right before this live stream.
It was right before the live stream.
Because Rebecca here, she's like really floaty, and me, it's like when she. Oh, hello there, Saeed from. Okay. So anyway,
You're ridiculous.
So before this live stream, I don't know, Rebecca's kind of floaty, and me, when you say a time, I'm like, we're doing it this time. So like,
this is also our first time working together. We're launching a program. In case you haven't heard, it's called Relation Shift, and there's a reason we're talking about our argument. It is for a purpose. Read the thing on the description of the live stream site. It's all there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a purpose to this. Okay, so back up. We're going to talk about the origin of our argument.
Oops.
We're a fucking mess.
But we're beautiful.
Are we beautiful?
Is it,
guys, are we a beautiful mess?
Is it okay for me to call myself beautiful? Is that okay? I just want to pin this.
Oh, you're the best, baby.
Oh, thank you. Can I pin this, or do I have to?
I don't know.
Ooh, pin comment. Your iPhone works differently. That's interesting. Okay, so being on this call, we had a dispute in agreements and how we operate. And for me, I was like, hey, let's do a live stream together today. Cool, yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I have some things at this time.
Rebecca here, sweet Rebecca here, got off her mastermind call, and I got done taking Katie for a dub.
What is a dub for people who don't know?
I can't say what it is. I can't. She's here.
Well,
if I say it's a trigger word.
She's still sleeping.
She's asleep. But So I get back and Rebecca's like, hey, I want to do the live stream in like 30 minutes or some shit.
Did I give you a specific as 30 minutes?
Something like that. Soon. Yeah, like after my shower. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, wait, actually I want to meditate. And then I'm like, okay, but I just told the internet we're starting in 20 minutes. And
so then I was like, okay, should I not meditate?
And I'm like, just meditate for 10 minutes.
And then I was like, actually, I don't need to meditate.
And then she's like, actually, I don't need to meditate.
And then I started noticing a prickly energy.
Yeah, I'm like, I was
like,
prickly.
And so then, and I understand, like, that's kind of annoying. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I'm not trying to undermine his feelings because I get that, like, different things land in different ways. And so then I was like, he's mad at me. And then when he gets, like, irritated by me or thinks I'm annoying, or, like, he wouldn't say annoying, but, like, I can tell when he's a little, like, and it doesn't happen a lot, but it does occasionally happen. And then I become this little girl that's like, I'm being abandoned. He doesn't love me anymore. And it like kind of goes out of proportion because we're usually like so sweet to each other.
Yeah.
And so like the little bit of discord can sometimes, I don't know, throw me off. So
But I will
Anyway.
say that we do make shifts rather quickly. Like
Oh
it
my
was
God,
like a
so quickly.
what, like a 5-minute thing, and then we're like, okay, we're ready to do this live stream. And
Well, I was like, I'm not getting on the live if we have funky energy. So he was like, fuck, I have to clean this up because I want to go live.
yeah, so it was good. It's a good practice.
Yeah. So basically what was going on there, and I think what enables us to be so good at just navigating the little things, because here's the thing, when you get two humans living together, working together, or whatever your specific thing is, like, you're gonna bump up against stuff. It just happens with everyone. But it's like in those moments, how do you navigate that trigger, being super honoring of both parties, not making anybody wrong, forgiving quickly, and both being really committed to finding a solution that's just amazing for all parties involved.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's powerful because we're both able to express ourselves without it being like, hey, I'm on this team, or like I'm keeping score, I'm doing all the things right, or you're doing all the things right. It's more like, okay, we bumped up into the ways that we are used to doing things, and it's like, let's work this out and make a relation shift.
Yeah.
TM.
So I'm curious, in the comments, I would love to know, are you and your partner really similar in the ways that you go about life, or are you pretty opposites attract? I would love to know, because I think in many ways we have very similar lifestyles, but in certain areas we're opposites, and I think that creates attraction, right? But I'm curious, I'd love to know in the comments, like, if you're in a relationship or you're working with a business partner or whatever, the relationship that you're closest to in your life right now, do you feel like you're very on the same page with the way you do things, or do you feel like there's a lot of times where your thought process, it's almost like you miss each other and you're thinking in different ways? I'd be really curious. So let us know in the comments below.
To be honest, TBH.
But then he's just such a sexy ginger, and I think, can't get enough of him, you know?
I think that living, like, seeing how you operate, there's like things that I can learn from you.
What have you learned
and be
from
like
me?
you. Because, like, you know, sometimes I might judge that floaty energy where it's like, ooh, I'm going to go over here. Or, never mind, I'm going over here. And
I float through
if
my
I
days,
gave
you guys.
myself a little bit more of that flexibility, then I'd probably be, you know, there'll probably be a lighter feeling. I think there's that militant kind of attitude that I have where it's like, we're going to execute this fucking plan. It's going to happen, and we're going to complete it.
And I'm like, I've had like 20 ideas for how to spend my non-call time today. Like, literally, like, on the days that I have my calls, and maybe we should just schedule our live streams. Like, that could be a potential idea, because when it's in the calendar, I do it, and it's at the time that I've decided to do it. But I am just so, like, I love to follow where the day flows, personally. And if it's not scheduled, like, I have a number of different, like, projects that I'm working on at any given time, and I like to kind of just choose the one that feels hottest in the moment, trusting that I always get everything done.
Yeah, see, it's like, I feel like you're more accustomed to, like, the light vibes of, like, you know, I'm just gonna chill and work, and, you know, like,
I'm
the chill
swim,
vibes.
like a feisty fish.
Swim. Me, I think there's still, like, that conditioning there where I'm, like, shedding the layers of, like, it's got to be intense all the time. And
yeah. But so here's the cool part.
Thank you, Leanna.
The cool part is that our relationships are the biggest mirror, and every trigger has the potential to get you way closer to everything you want. So, like, triggers are literally like pockets of shadow ready to be released.
Yeah.
And we want to resist them. We don't want drama. We don't want anything going on ever. And we're like, why am I not reaching my goals? But we refuse to have hard conversations. We refuse to look at our shit. And it's like, the fastest path to what you want is a mindful life, is an open, curious approach when your buttons get pushed.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Because, like, we could have, like, said, let's take action anyway and do this live stream, and
but
then it would
we'd
have
have
been...
this energy. You'd be like, wait, they're selling a program on relationships, and they seem really annoyed at each other.
And and by looking at that, even if it might have been uncomfortable. I didn't feel
It
that
was a
uncomfortable.
light. Yeah,
it was
wasn't-
light.
It was like
But-
he was mildly annoyed, and then I was like, well, I'm just being myself. You know, you know.
Yeah. But by discussing it, it gets that energy out of the way. And I think the
Yeah.
same thing goes with how you operate with the relationship with yourself. Like, imagine yourself being that child that wants to be heard, but if you're not listening to yourself and your work in business is abandoning yourself, oh, we got a guest request. But if you're used to abandoning yourself and just, I'm going to do the fucking work anyway, but you're not listening to that voice inside and you're not allowing that energy to clear out, you're not going to have the capacity to pull in the abundance that you're looking for or the love that you're looking for. So what's so important is for you to be with those feelings and to allow the universe doing that mystical
Seriously.
surgery on you.
Love when you talk about that. Say more about
So,
mystical surgery.
Well, I was talking about, I wanted to say a little bit about my story, my
Fozzie
journey.
really wants to get on
Yes.
this.
That'd be funny.
No.
No, okay, fine. No, not as many shenanigans when I'm with Rebecca.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shut it down.
You know how many guests I would be having on my solo live streams if I got this type of attention? No one ever wants to go on my live streams.
Really?
Yeah, it's sad.
Sorry. But you're sexy ginge cheese.
Yeah, I know, for real. It's sexy ginge cheese. That's interesting. Cheese, sexy ginge cheese. Okay, so anyway, so I was talking a little bit about my story in a blog post, but I wanted to go more into that
Yes.
because it wasn't that long ago going through like this breakup and this turmoil in my life. Almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
So
A lot can change in 2 years, you guys.
yeah, so while I do believe that time does heal wounds, I also feel like at the same time that time is an illusion and really it's all about what you're an energetic match to and
Completely.
what type of experiences you're having. So when I was going through that turmoil, when I had that breakup, when my mom passed away, I was spending time with myself and my emotions and leaning into those emotions. So that's why, and by the way, I've had clients in the past who also went from like a devastating divorce to manifesting their soulmate relationship in less than a year. So it's like,
powerful.
obviously you want to be reasonable. You don't want to say, hey, get a relationship in 10 days after you go through a divorce. Like that would probably be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to take as long as sometimes a mind may think. Like for me, I didn't even imagine, like it was kind of beyond my imagination to be in a relationship like this in just like a year time span. But I was so focused, I was focused on the right thing. I was focused on myself. I was focusing on letting those emotions, like allowing the universe to heal me, and even doing like EFT tapping, meditation, all those things to empty the vessel so I could bring in that love. And the main goal wasn't like, how do I find love outside of me? That was just the end result of me taking attention to the healing and wanting to heal.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the program, maybe.
Yeah, so relationship, first and foremost, I want to say that we're doing a Zoom call.
We are.
We are doing a bonus Zoom call.
One-on-one coaching
What do you
call
think
with
before the
both of us.
weekend ends? So like by Labor Day.
Yeah,
So
if you sign up before Labor Day,
Yeah.
then you get it. And we start the 9th. But
Yeah,
if you
so that
sign
next
up
week.
during this like early bird period.
Yeah, so the early bird special is if you join before Labor Day, you get a Zoom call with us, and it's really Zoom calls to me, especially when I see like Rebecca is the master at Zoom
Zoom
calls,
queen.
the group coaching, like she's a master at group coaching, like you should really see what it's like in her mastermind, but you'll see
In my
sort
cozy
of,
marketing cocoon.
yeah, she's got a cozy marketing thing going on. So you'll get that as a bonus. And basically everyone gets spot coaching in this group coaching call. So it's very powerful. It's an amazing bonus. I'd say it's worth more than the program itself.
Totally.
So yeah, if you want to join in on that Zoom call,
Do
get in
it.
before Labor Day. And we're going to have that as a bonus. sometime we don't know the exact date, but we'll set up the date that's best for everyone in there, so everyone can be in there live and everyone can get spot coaching and
I love it.
that custom tailored support.
I love it. I feel called to talk a little bit about who this program is for. I feel like one of my biggest teachers over the past few years has been relationships, a few specifically. And I think it's like this invisible undercurrent that can absolutely make or break your business. So like rock solid relationships are the foundation of your business, especially if you're a coach or healer. Especially if you're a coach or healer. And the thing is, if you've got a shadow pattern running in one relationship, it will affect the whole. So if you have a relationship that continues to take you out with a parent, or you have a relationship with a team member that's just not really vibing, or you have you're in a romantic partnership with someone who just doesn't kind of get what you do, or your friendship circle, like you feel that you're starting to outgrow it, but the prospect of not being friends with those people anymore feels really scary or lonely. If you are bumping up against stuff with clients and it makes you really uncomfortable, and so you avoid sales activities because the idea of more relationships feels totally overwhelming. These are just a few of the areas that like this program can help you so much, because there's a fundamental relationship operating system. There's a fundamental blueprint for all of your relationships that gets formed before the age of 13, basically. Really before the age of 7, but truly before the age of 13.
And that love feels comfortable because you're used to that in your childhood. So it feels like home, but it's toxic.
Totally. And many of us are not aware of certain pieces of this core relationship blueprint. And if you've been in any kind of repeating pattern in your relationship, that's another person who this is so good for. If you feel like it's like same guy, different face, different name, if you feel like that's looping again and again, if you repeatedly have clients that like are overbearing and remind you of your mother, if you are finding yourself like, oh, I can never find a team that supports me, or if you feel, even if you're like, things are okay, but you're not feeling deep intimacy and connection with the people in your life, and there's this subtle layer of boredom and loneliness, but like not total clarity on what to do about it. Like maybe you think, oh, maybe if I lived in a city with more spiritual people, this would be different, or maybe if there were more eligible men in my city, this would be different, or oh, it's just hard to find team members that are amazing, or oh, all clients are going to be kind of a pain in the ass. No, actually not accurate. You can fundamentally rewire your core blueprint around relationships. You can have a relation shift and have a wildly different reality with the humans in your world. And by definition, because humans, like this is a business expense. P.S. This is totally a tax write-off for anyone who's an entrepreneur who only buys entrepreneur programs. Like if you've just been investing in strategy and Facebook ads and this business coach and that business coach and you're not seeing results, I would guess that there are some capacity issues going on and that you're uncomfortable with way more people knowing about you online, way more customers, a bigger team, more to manage, probably because you're terrified of intimacy. You're terrified of the pressure. You're terrified of disappointing humans. You're terrified of conflict. What if they don't like what you have to do? All of these things stem from core relationship wounding. And they can all be healed. And in this program, we're going to be taking a really deep look at this. And what's different about this from other relationship courses, because I know some of you, and then I'll let Brandon talk, but I'm sort of on a roll. Is that cool?
Go. Keep going.
What's different about this is that like we are both like influencer entrepreneurs, right? And so really unique, there's a lot of unique characteristics to dating as an influencer.
Yeah.
It's really different. Like I remember thinking, oh God, there's that moment where I have to introduce the new guy I'm dating to my online presence.
Yeah, when I went on dating apps, I sort of just gave people the link to my Facebook because I just wanted to be, I didn't want to, so.
Yeah. Why? Well, tell me about that. Were you worried they wouldn't want to date you because it's like they're seeing all of your stuff right away? Were you?
I just think it's good pre-screening. instead of me wasting my time, it's like, go see my Facebook and see what I'm really about. And if you think it's wild and crazy, then maybe you should get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And swipe left.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Okay, so introducing the new person you're dating to your online presence, that's a unique thing about being in an entrepreneur relationship. What's also unique is that we both used to be relationship coaches from different angles.
Like,
he worked with dudes mostly, and I worked with women.
Imagine
mostly.
me going on a date with a regular woman, and she's like, "So I saw on your Facebook you were talking about eating ass, like the president." What?
Okay. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it's unique. I specifically said I wanted weird women on my profile, and
Look
here
who
we
showed
go.
up.
Yeah.
Here we are. That's funny. Okay, so dating as an influencer is a whole thing.
Yeah.
We also we have unique perspectives. So I feel that I very deeply understand the psyche of a woman, particularly woman entrepreneur, in all of her relationships, and he deeply gets the male perspective.
Yeah.
And I think we both like started as relationship coaches who went into marketing, and I just think like part of the spark for this course is like Brandon and I have morning coffee together every morning, one of our lovely little rituals, and we have the most
Mushroom coffee.
Yes.
Discount code Sexy Ginger Jesus at foursigmatic.com. All right.
Okay, everybody go get yourself some mushroom coffee. Type Sexy Ginger Jesus in the coupon code. Take care of that. It's so good. But anyway, we would have these morning chats, and we would just have the most interesting conversations about relationships. And a lot of, sometimes if one of our clients is struggling with something, we don't give out details, but we'd be like, oh, like, how would you approach this? We just started to realize like how significant a portion of our calls were coming back to core relationship wounding, core relationship issues, and so we're so excited to bring this program.
Even
really
when launching my business, like my content or business or marketing type courses, if I had a one-on-one package, there'd be times where they'd be like, hey, this isn't related to marketing, but I have this relationship thing going on. And just by addressing that, then they started making sales again because they cleared that. Like even the things that are seemingly unrelated are related to your business and how you're showing up. So if your relationship or, your relation to relationships are in disarray, then it's going to affect how you're showing up, and that needs to be cleared out. And I think that I've seen in some internet circles where it's like, don't ask a business coach about your relationship stuff. And I think that's kind of a bit off, because if they're your coach and they're holding you in this space, then you need to be able to say anything. You need to be able to address anything. Virginia Marshall is here. Is that my cousin? Because I'm Brandon Marshall.
Is that your cousin?
No, my middle name is Marshall. So like, it's not even really. It's not really a. You know that. You know my real last name.
I was just like, is it a cousin? Hi, I'm like meeting a new family member. Like,
my real last name is Kapoldener.
It sounded like your real ass name.
I'm changing my Facebook name back to Brandon Marshall on September 10th because I just felt like the whole name thing was cool, but I felt like Brandon Marshall has more of a ring to it.
You think I should be Rebecca Ives Rubin?
Do whatever you please.
You can do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Okay. He makes fun of me because I'll sing little bits of rap songs, or whatever songs, but I don't always do them correctly.
Yeah. So what were we going?
Okay. Who this is for specifically and why it's so important.
It's important for creatives and artists who want to improve the relationships all around.
Yeah.
Because when you improve that one part of your life, or it's not even just one compartment, it's like it's covering everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Relationships are literally, it's like a.
And also,
you can't not work on this. You have to master communication skills. You have to master this
and your relationship with your parents. Not saying that you're totally.
It's all their fault.
It's all good to have boundaries and stuff, and your relationship with your parents. All the things that trigger you about your parents are the things that you haven't healed within yourself, and you are your parents. There's this exercise I did at a retreat, and maybe we'll walk you through it again.
Maybe we'll do that together tonight.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing we might give and sorry to interrupt, we might give you ideas for like, or we will, like part exercises to do with the important people in your life. Because I think something that's brought us so close is doing some of this work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
I don't want to give away the exercise.
Yeah.
But,
we're not going to, yeah.
But basically it gives you a look at all the things that you're not accepting within yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you have that tension with your mom and your dad, it's impacting your romantic relationship, and it's impacting your relationship with money and self-expression. Mm-hmm. So for me, I noticed it's like I had to heal my relationship with my dad and the way that I judge myself in order to heal my relationship with money. And I had to heal my relationship with my mom if I wanted a good romantic relationship. If I was the same person that I was when I was 19 years old and I held that resentment in, then it would just be crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn. It would be crazy.
Do you want to talk more about what you healed with both parents, or is that too much?
Well, for me, my mom, there was a lot of resentment there. There was alcoholism in my family, and there was sort of, there was that tension there, and my I didn't feel, I guess, like that was my experience of love, or my experience with my family was witnessing alcoholism and enabling and those toxic behaviors. So it had an impact on me in many ways. Like I didn't know how to trust. I was very insecure in myself. I was always worried if, I was just really insecure about my partner, and I was abandoning myself for my partners.
Interesting.
And another thing is the enabling thing is I learned that love was heroing and taking responsibility for that other person. So I would always be, again, abandoning myself for other people and serving until I was empty.
Yeah, how did that play out in your business?
Yeah. Oh yeah, with clients.
Heroing. Like tell me about heroing.
Well, my first relationship with business was, I've had things with coaching, but it was even a lot worse early on in my early 20s, like my first experience with business, because I would mix down tracks, do beats, and have people record in my basement, in my parents' basement, and I mixed friendships and businesses, and sometimes I would charge somebody and sometimes I wouldn't, because I wanted to be the cool person and be nice and serve people. But it was so off because I wasn't honoring myself and the work that I was putting in. And plus I was working a job and doing all this other stuff and working on my own creative stuff. So I was always, at work. Whether it's working for somebody for free, or working for those few that were paying me, or working at a job. We have
a relationship with money and receiving.
Yeah,
that's a relationship.
Yeah, and in coaching too, early on, I didn't have like a set structure. If somebody, I would hero somebody and maybe discount the price because it's like, fuck, I need to get clients, so I would just give them to you. And I don't want to
put them out because they're this poor, helpless little person.
Yeah, even though I invested $15,000 and quit my job within a month time, I don't want to charge somebody $1,000 and hurt them. But for me, I can take it, but not them. So think of what that's doing when you take a leap in your business and then you don't allow other people to take that leap. Then you're basically saying, oh, they're not able to handle the things that I can handle. They're weaker than me.
Damn. Mic drop. That's super interesting. So now I'm kind of curious, like with myself, like how my early parent relationships, I mean, I can certainly speak to this a little bit. I think it's kind of interesting. Should I share?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so like our parents model a lot for us, right? And so my mom, when I was really little, I hope she doesn't watch this. I hope she'd be okay with me sharing. But she worked full time, as did my dad. But when I was like 1 or 2, I wouldn't let her tuck me in at night. I wanted our nanny to tuck me in. And so at that point, she stopped working full time and became she worked like part time and freelance and stayed at home. And that definitely impacted me, I think, pretty significantly. And so I've never told some of these things live before, so I'm like trying to process
Yeah.
a little bit live.
Like
and,
even
like,
me
think
when I'm
about what-
I want to honor, but
Yeah.
still share the experience.
Yeah, so maybe I'll share this when it's a little more, when I've thought it through, not live, so on a live stream. But let's just say that like my relationship with my dad and my mom both have come up in relationships to my business, in situations in my business, quite a bit. And I will process this offline and figure out how I want to talk about it in the future. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Relationship is going to be epic. It's 6 weeks. There's a private Facebook group. We're going to be doing live streams, answering all of your questions, giving you practices that are super powerful and potent. And you also just get to bask in the energy of a soulmate partnership. And the more time you spend in that frequency, the more you'll calibrate to it and magnetize in more things that vibrate at a similar frequency.
Yeah, and I also feel like saying that when you want to call something into your life, whether it is relationship or business, clients, whatever, the universe sees if you're ready. I don't want to say it's a test, but it's like, do you have the capacity to hold this? Mm-hmm. And when you have the support in the environment and the ability to, like just the skills, the skill sets and the mindset to be able to do the inner work, then you're clearing that out and allowing it to come in. You're allowing yourself to arrive to it instead of constantly striving and trying and pushing in order to make something happen. Same thing with existing relationships. If you're like expecting something from your partner or you're trying to get them to act a certain way, when you move into that acceptance and appreciation, a lot shifts right there.
So good.
And I guess one last thing, maybe we'll start ranting again, but one last thing is think of all the relationships in your life. Do you feel like they are a 10 or 11.11?
You're
are
a
they
10.
like amazing? You're a 10.
Yay, 10.
But are they a 10 like super amazing? Are they 7 where it's like, well, this is good, or
it's working. I don't really want to deal with like any drama.
And what type of relationships do you have to justify for?
Ooh,
like how many relationships do you have to defend where it's like, yeah, well, I'm doing this because like such and such.
Totally.
So yeah, think of that, like the things that really belong in your life, or is something that you don't have to defend or justify for, and not saying that automatically means that relationship needs to go, but the agreements need to be
rearranged.
changed. Yeah,
energetically rearranged.
Yeah, or it has to go.
Yeah, that could
one
be
or the other. But oftentimes, what I found with clients, and I've worked with men at first, and then shifted to both men and women. But what I found is I never really had to tell somebody like, hey, you need to release this relationship, you need to break up or whatever. It's when you align to your standards and stay true to you.
Fuck, I love
then those
that
old
aligning to your
relationships
standards.
just naturally fall apart, and you don't have to feel like you're making this big, I mean, still it's a big decision, but it becomes a no-brainer when you start being centered in yourself and you start taking up for yourself instead of putting other people before you.
Namaste, amen, mic drop. I love that.
So check out the link for Relationship in the pinned comment. Again, we're going to be doing a bonus Zoom group coaching call. The official
if you sign up by Monday night, because it's a long weekend.
Yeah, we'll do it Labor Day night.
At midnight.
Yeah.
Monday night at midnight.
Get that bonus group coaching call. It's in depth. Everyone gets spot coaching in there. Even if there's a million, we'll find a way to do it. But yeah, we would love to have you on the bonus Zoom call. What's up, Sarah? And what's up, Terry? I saw Terry there with some comments. I got to respond to them.
Cool.
But yeah, would love to have you there. And if you're a previous client of one of ours, previous alumni clients only, there is a discount code. Message us for the discount code, but this is only for previous clients.
And also, feel free to message either of us if you have questions.
Yeah.
And if you're like, is this for me? Like, often I'll feel like a vibe for a program and I'll feel drawn to it. But I'm like, ooh, is this exactly right for my situation? And so we're more than happy to help you figure that out. So message us.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yay. All right. Cool. Any last words? Are we good?
Don't message me. Message Katie back there. She takes all my no, I'm just kidding. But Bartholomew Smith, my assistant, will be talking to you.
I'll be talking to you if you message me.
All right.
Peace.
Good night.
Do you want to press finish?
We're finished. Hi, Vicky. Bye, Vicky. Watch a replay.